Welcome to part 2 of the showcase of version 0.4 of my mod, which introduces miracles into the game. But before I continue where I left in my video from 3 months ago, I want to apologize to you all. Some people may remember that I promised a wyvern boss fight for this version, but finding the right design choices and modeling him turned out to be more time consuming than I thought. And that's why I want to say that I'm sorry for all the people I promised things that I could not keep. In the future I will take more care about what I will promise about upcoming versions. But I can at least say that me and my little team were still working on the wyvern and other bosses. And they will be coming out in another version, but I cannot say whether it will be the next or maybe later or something like that. Okay, with that out of the way, let's continue with the actual showcase. In the last video I left off talking about the two lightning spear miracles that weren't obtainable in game yet. Well, now they are. First you need to find a sunlight altar structure which contains a block of the same name. And luckily for us, there should be a bonfire right next to it, so we can simply warp from other bonfires to here and back if we rested once on them. The sunlight altar itself is the first and only way at the time to enter a covenant. And this covenant is called Warriors of Sunlight. Oh, and look what we got from just entering the covenant, the lightning spear. In the actual Dark Souls games, you had to fight bosses with other players to get sunlight medals, which could then be turned in for spells. And yeah, sunlight medals do exist here as well, and you can get the Great Lightning Spear by giving them to the altar, but the way you get them differs a bit. You see, I just was not sure what to do about the online system with phantoms and such. But I still wanted a way to obtain sunlight medals. And the only way a player could obtain sunlight medals in Dark Souls 1 was to kill these parasites, because probably they killed so many members of the Warriors of Sunlight. It seemed neat, but I wanted to introduce such demons around the same time as I introduced the lost city of Izalith. In Dark Souls 3, the only enemy type that drops medals is the Knight of Lothric, which also would not fit into what I had planned with this update. But then Dark Souls 2 gave me an easy solution. There are many enemies that drop sunlight medals, but the ones I was curious about were the Falconers. As wandering mercenaries with a connection to the Warriors of Sunlight Covenant, they seem to be independent enough so that I could implement them into the mod, and that's exactly what I did. They spawn in little camps that are located near sunlight altars and drop, of course, sunlight medals, but also their entire equipment. That's how you can obtain the two lightning spear miracles. Oh, almost forgot. I also added a lock-on system in backstabs. Have fun. Bye!